bottleneck, building a fizzer. Both wanna be right, loose side cut with one blade and a scissor. Are you willing?
I'm glad you found us in this giant sea of cool podcasts. We're the only ones that kick the cool to the curb. Welcome to Kick the Cool. I'm the big sister Shishi.
I am the big little brother Tone.
I am the little brother Wopsle.
Whoa.
And yes, you are, honey. As you know, we are the gang that brings you the reviews you didn't know you needed. What's up?
What's up, She?
I hate to report that I have squirrels in my attic.
Oh.
That is not a euphemism for my state of mind.
You mean like you're not doing well, right?
I mean, it could be. I'm not saying it doesn't fit, but I am actually talking about squirrels in my attic.
Boy, she's really got a squirrel in her attic.
It's all right. A lot of people do right now. It's a tough time.
A little therapy will cure that right up.
So I didn't know if it was mice, though, because I'm hearing little scritches up in the ceiling. And I've had mice up there before a few years ago. So I put some traps up just at the top of my little stairs, the pull down stairs. And that's another story in itself because my stairs broke and I duct taped them together. And they've been, I've been climbing up and down these duct tape stairs. Anyway.
That's my style. Love that.
Hey, it's holding. And I didn't have to call my landlord. So I set these traps around and I put sunflower seed. I stuck a sunflower seed in each one. And the next day, the seeds were gone. And there was one of the traps had been sprung, but empty. So today or last night, I put tortillas in there just kind of to figure it out. And they were not touched. So I think it's probably squirrels. Doesn't that sound...
Everybody knows
like
squirrels. Yes, everyone knows squirrels love sunflower seeds and hate tortillas.
And
that's
hate
kind of
tortillas.
like day one of squirrel
Right?
class. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember squirrel class very clearly, and I remember them saying, hey, sunflower seeds, That's so funny you say that, Sherry, because, 3 days ago, I set a mouse trap out, and I put on it the only thing that I had of food at the time, which was sunflower seed.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so then, but I had my trap only would hook the notch to keep it open, to keep it ready. That barely hangs on this trap. It's built wrong or something. But anyway, so it was. I had to be very careful with it to set it down and keep it live, right? Because it wants to go off real bad. And then I poured some sunflower seeds around it, and came back the next day, and all the sunflower seeds were gone, and the trap is unadulterated. So
your squirrel, you're the squirrel that's living in your house.
I have a squirrel living in my living room with me.
Oh, y'all, I've got my window open and I'm looking out the window and I see a squirrel. It's probably the squirrel that's been up in my attic eating my seeds.
Yes. You see a squirrel, AKA your roommate. Go ahead.
My roommate.
Right.
Right.
And then, of course, there's always, when you hear something in the attic, you always think it's a person hiding up there. So,
do you?
No.
Well,
Does one?
if you're female in a rental house, I think yes. Or a hotel room, but there's not an attic there. But, like if you hear, anyway, yes, you're always expecting that someone is watching you.
Well, let me give you one quick scary story. One time, whenever we opened a clothing store in Stillwater, and so Amy had an apartment in Stillwater that she would go work the game day weekends. And so in her apartment one night, she heard some squirrels in the attic. And so she called the exterminator to come take care of the seemingly many squirrels in the attic. They were just raving up there. And the exterminator came and took care of everything, but informed her they were not squirrels. They were, in fact, snakes.
No
Sherry just left
way.
the house. She is out of
Sherry's gone.
And it's scary to have snakes up there, but especially snakes that are going so buck wild that you can hear them pittering and pattering around. So scary. And
They don't eat sunflower seeds, do they?
No, and they love tortillas, so I think you're safe.
Oh, that's how you can always tell.
I have to say,
Yeah.
it's well documented on here how much I love snakes and animals of all kinds. Mm-hmm. But that creeped me the hell out.
Yeah. I'll take an
Masses
intruder.
of
I'll
snakes.
take an intruder up there over a snake every single
I
time.
know. Yeah.
I don't know why it is so creepy that I don't know. If I was walking along and I almost stepped on a snake and then realized there were 3 of them on the ground outside, I would go, whoa, snake nest, and I'd be a little bit like, wow, this is crazy. But it's nothing compared to how the feeling that I get when they're in the attic. Now, a friend of mine told me a story about a friend of theirs who they kept on hearing these sounds in the attic right above their kitchen table, their dining room table. And one day it just got too heavy from all the snakes, and it crashed through the ceiling onto the table. Just snakes everywhere.
You are lying.
Yeah, that's the story that I heard from a friend.
Oh my God.
I would leave Earth if that happened. I would blast on the moon
like a rocket into space.
But like Tony, like you said, if they're outside in the grass where they're supposed to be, no big deal. If they're in your attic, you don't know they're there. Mm-hmm. They're over your head and can crash down on your head and bite you on the way down. You don't know. Oh my gosh. Wow. I hope these are squirrels. I mean, now the possibilities are open. What kind of animal? Maybe it is a dude up there.
Yeah, we've blown this thing wide open, and now like human is great. Squirrel would be okay, but it might be snakes or worse.
Well, now I don't think it's snakes. It could be squirrels and snakes. One never knows.
Oh yeah, I just have a whole community up there of squirrels and snakes.
Yes, I have an ecosystem up there, self-sustaining ecosystem in my insulation. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I gotta get away from. Go ahead.
What if that happens and then you you're legally not allowed to disturb them anymore because it's like a precious ecosystem with like rare snakes. So you're like, okay, well, this is just my house now.
Oh, he got me biting my fingernails over here. I'm so creeped out. I got to get away from this topic, you guys.
Move along.
Attics I'm not talking about them anymore. All right. So, Tony, you're up first, and you have our listener suggestion this week. What is it?
Oh, yeah. I love doing these listener suggestions. I love talking about our listeners and getting them involved and, all that stuff. Now, this is going to be a little different because I'm about to sing you guys a song that you've heard before come from my mouth.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't. It's a little changed. We've altered things just a little bit. Let's see if you can catch what I did differently here.
Okay.
Okay.
So in order to kick us off completely correctly, we do this. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. It's the versus show. It's the versus show. Blow dry your hair and try to get a versus fro. One topic on one side and one on the other. Brought to you by Sherry and her 2 little brothers. It's the versus show. It's the versus show. Yeah, versus. Yay. Welcome to the versus show, everyone.
Yay.
As always, we had to do a lot of vetting to get our guests here to join us on the Versus show. We and we're really lucky that every time we've done the Versus show, you guys have made it through as the best contenders, as the best people, and it's just luck.
A good coincidence.
Yeah,
it really is. So with the Versus show, we have another one that's another segment that we do where we use a randomly generated topic. The difference in the Versus show and Rando Review Riot is, of course, that this is not rando, and this one, of course, is special because it comes from a listener. All right, so this one comes from Abraham M, and Abraham wants us to review bar soap versus bottle soap or liquid soap. And I think this is hugely important. Wopsle, what do you think about bar soap versus bottle soap?
My life has just been a series of switching back and forth and thinking, realizing I'm doing it wrong and going to the other one basically on a yearly basis. So I do not have strong feelings. I'm so confused by it. And as a man, in all of our stuff, it's all 3-in-1. So you've got the bottle soap plus the shampoo plus the conditioner.
Yes.
And so it's like, well, one bottle's nice, but can one thing do all that stuff? I don't know. And then to throw one wrench in there, my shampoo is bar shampoo that I use.
What?
So
no, it's not.
I have a bottle of soap and a bar of shampoo in my shower.
A bar of shampoo.
I really do.
Do you ever
I
get them
promise.
mixed up?
Oh, yeah, often. Yeah. Yep. But my body hair is great when I do that. It is like choice.
You.
Right. Shishi, what are your first thoughts about bar soap versus liquid soap?
Well, I used to think that liquid soap was more luxurious because of advertising. And I've come to realize that it lathers the same. It's hard for me to judge how much I'm getting. And so I often over pour, and then I just have so much soap on me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like,
it takes forever to rinse it all off.
It takes forever to rinse it off. It's wasteful. I think it costs a little bit more probably to get the liquid soap. So in the shower, I get as many bar products as possible. I have bar shampoo like Wapsol. I bought some bar conditioner that I don't like the conditioner, but I'm going to shop around because I like bars. Mm-hmm. I have bar soap, obviously. And
your shower is a gel cell. Just bars all the way around.
It's bars all the way around. I have to get my big old rusty key to open my shower and get in. Yeah, I love bars. And the reason that I started getting bars, though, actually is because I have to have fragrance-free products. And so I was traveling a few times a year for my last job. And, I don't want to check my, you can't take liquids on the plane. So I didn't want to check all of my important fragrance-free things, get to the hotel, my luggage is gone, and I have no way to wash my hair. So I started getting bar stuff so I could carry it with me in my carry-on.
That is a great point. I would have never thought of.
Yeah, me neither.
If we are talking hand soap to wash our hands at the sink, liquid all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
I do not want a dirty bar of soap sitting on my sink for whatever reason. I guess because I've worked on the car too many times, and then even if you're washing your hands and your soap gets all dirty.
Yeah.
So liquid soap for that.
Well, the way we grew up, the reason that's all gone wrong is because you're supposed to have lava soap there. And, and the lava soap has a nice layer of grime all over the whole thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how we grew up. Especially over at Aunt Vicky and Uncle Joe's house.
If lava soap had a fragrance-free version, I'd be all over that bar for sure. But they don't.
They don't.
Now, okay, so this is the weird thing to me. When you talk about if I go up to the sink and all that's there is a bar, then I'm going to use the bar of soap and I'm going to feel skeeved out by it because it's got, I'm touching my dirty stuff with somebody else's dirty whatever, But
I don't cram the bar of soap up my butt. All I do is get some off of there and then I use it. So that bar is not touching my body at all. It's touching my hands, which then touch my body.
But last week we talked about, on the podcast, how, we're never taught how to do adult things because we assume everybody knows how to do them or whatever. Yeah. There's probably, let's be honest, people who, if they get in that situation, that bar soap's going right up the corner.
Right up the...
At least,
maybe so.
At least high enough where you don't want it to go directly from that to your face. Like, at least that far.
Okay, so here's a good point.
Because that's not very far. That distance is not great that it takes to have gone up there for me to no longer want it to be on my face.
It's arm's length. It's just arm's length, right?
So I was going to say, I think it actually might be a negative distance. It's like if it's 6 inches close to, then no longer do I want it on my face.
So So if you wash your knee with that bar, you're done.
Then, yeah, it's trash, disposable.
But the thing is, when you're sharing a shower, that is different. So when I'm by myself in the shower, I'm cool. Now, it's been a long time, but when I was sharing a shower with roommates or whatever, I would actually lather up the soap first, rinse it all off, and then use the soap.
That's a pro move, she.
So I'd get that layer off. And it's like, when the lather is what gets everything clean. So hopefully it's cleaning itself.
I love it.
Because you just answered the question that I didn't know I had is how could one possibly clean a bar of soap? The soap doesn't clean. How do you clean soap? But I guess you answered
layer off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the layer off. I was just going to say, I will definitely do that from now on because every single time I've ever used a bar of soap in the shower, I said, this is stupid. I really wish I didn't have to do this. I want this to be different. And now I know what I need to do is just you wash off the outer layer of soap.
A better way to do it is to get a washcloth. And then
can I argue?
That's just your bar soap washing cloth.
Can I argue possibly a better way to do it is to get a loofah and some liquid soap? I mean, is that probably actually the solution to this problem as we've come full circle
this is
now?
Interesting. I hadn't even considered this aspect of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. We only have one bar. I like the bar soap and Amy doesn't, but I have a loofah in there as well for, when I want to use that 4-in-1. And we definitely have separate loofahs. So that's, that's kind of helpful. Like everyone has their own loofah and you're using the same bottle soap. That's a pretty elegant solution, actually. Yeah.
So you know what?
It is. Yeah.
We don't do ratings on the Versus show.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make
this just
I'm gonna
in.
throw it. We don't.
Okay.
Yeah, this just in.
That is a good idea.
And we don't even determine a winner necessarily.
No, there's no winner.
No.
It's just topic of discussion.
Hey, Abraham did not tell us find a winner out of these two. He said he just wants us to review them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a sneaky way he got us to review two different things?
Yes. That's all it really is about.
Well done. More bang for your buck.
Thank you, Abraham.
Thanks, Abraham.
Thanks, Abraham. He also goes by Mark, by the way, so we should say seriously.
What?
Thanks to Mark.
What?
It's a long story.
Is that short for Abraham?
Apparently,
Great.
yeah, for him, yes.
Okay.
Wait, I'm so confused. Are you being serious?
I am dead serious. Yeah, if we used his suggestion and didn't mention the name Mark, he would be pretty upset. So,
Oh.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark Abraham.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks, Abraham. Mark, we appreciate that suggestion. And I think that is a new era for the Versus show. Do you guys think so?
Oh,
I
think we just saved it from certain death,
From
right?
certain death. We need our listeners to suggest more Versus show topics. Okay.
Yes, we do.
So, Wapsel's up next. Wapsel, what did you bring today?
What I brought for us to review today is something that I know in our house growing up and in my heart always was panic-inducing and stress-inducing. Maybe our review can take some of the edge off. I want to talk about school picture day. Picture day at school. You're lining up.
Oh, boy.
And you're taking a picture. That's how it goes. So, you don't sound thrilled.
Bad hair day guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
In fact, I still have to take pictures for work, like for my badge and stuff. Same thing. Bad hair day. I don't know how to smile. What's so hard about smiling?
I've forgotten how to smile.
I forget how to smile if they tell me, okay, we're going to take the picture. 3, 2, 1. I'm grimacing. Or, frowning. I don't know.
Yeah, that countdown is a countdown to forgetting how to human, correct?
Forgetting how to human.
Begin forgetting in 3, 2, 1.
Tone, was it as bad of a situation for you? I feel like I remember you having a rough time around school picture day.
I did have some problems. There was a thing where, back in my middle school and high school days, it was the Sally Jesse Raphael era. That's how it's listed on all the history books. And my glasses were gigantic big, right? Back in the day, in the 90s, your glasses were huge. And so so I had these huge glasses, and they always created a weird shadow on my face. And then when I was a senior, I went, oh, you know what? I bet I can take a picture without these glasses on. I don't need to be able to see the dude taking the picture.
Right, that's a pretty good point.
Your sight is not important. The photographer's sight is important.
Right. So I went through some bad pictures, but the best thing that ever happened, in my opinion, to school pictures is Matt Mitchell, a friend of mine, friend of the show, one of our very few guest reviewers. Anyway, he took some, and he had just the way his hair was combed, the smile on his face was just overly cheesy. It was just overly cheesy. And I as soon as I saw his picture, I called that his Guy Smiley. That's his Guy Smiley. Do you guys know who Guy Smiley is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Matt and I
Sesame
right
Street.
now, if I asked him, hey, what is it? What do you call your school pictures? He'd say your Guy Smileys. So,
Oh, man, I've done a few Guy Smileys in my time.
Yeah. Well, Tony, I remember maybe every year, but one year in particular where you kept getting retakes because your Sally Jesse Raphael glasses were casting a bad shadow. And
Yes.
if I remember right, their solution to that was to get you to get your chin down
Right.
and like to kind of
Tilt your head down.
and to where I think by the end of the retakes, you look like a murderous librarian, like looking over the rim
Right.
of your giant glasses.
my head and neck had to do this thing where I looked like the girl from The Ring, like twitching and snapping it all like in appropriate ways.
Yeah, it was not a natural look. And I remember the shadow got better, but you got increasingly worse.
So we could see your eyes, but we were terrified.
But yeah,
That's funny you remember that, Wops, because that's my experience when it comes to taking school pictures.
oh man. According to, if you look at my school pictures growing up, I was the third one and I was the baby, which has a lot of perks. But one of the downsides of being the third kid is, I don't think our mom ever knew when picture day for me was. According to my
No.
pictures, I looked
No.
a mess every time. I mean, I was happy as a clam, but my
Yeah.
hair was wild. My shirt was just probably one of the few shirts I had. It was, it's a fun
Stained.
journey to see how bad my school pictures are, especially like first, second, and third and fourth grade are epically bad.
Oh, yeah.
Now we can't blame mom so much for that, because I know that there was probably never a single time where I said, "Hey mom, it's picture day tomorrow."
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So she had no chance of getting it right.
Yeah. So now when we were kids, we just had our school picture day and then we were done. But my kids had their school pictures and then they also had personality pictures. And in grade school, at least, I don't know if they did that all through middle school, but of course then I had to buy some of each because they were trading them. And,
Right.
it's like, things just got a lot more complicated, I think.
Yeah, for no reason. Come on.
Did you guys trade pictures when you were kids? Trade pictures with your friends?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
You didn't do that, Wopsle?
Nope.
So it just took 10 years for that to die, basically, for that practice to die. Because my kids, they did some, but really, it only was in grade school and they didn't really care that much. And I'm like, don't you want, but why? You know why? It's because we have so many pictures of our friends already. Why do we want a terrible school picture where they look like a murderous librarian? Why do we want that picture?
You got that new corn hopper, the Murderous Librarian edition? Yeah, dude, I got it. I'll only trade it to you for Matt's Guy Smiley. That's it. I'm looking for that one.
Special edition.
Special edition.
Now, see, nowadays you could turn that into an NFT and make a lot of money off of it.
Oh.
On the stock market.
Tone, that would be the ultimate revenge on your terrible experience, wouldn't it? It'd come full circle. If you could just get that picture, make an NFT, and make a
Right.
lot of money on it. Someone would buy that, ironically, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing I wanted to make sure to mention was, don't you guys think that we're back around to the Sally Jesse Raphael big glasses?
Yeah.
Mine are kind of big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's coming-
my current
it's
ones are
coming
kind of
back.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Recently, I saw a story of some kids on school picture day that did something that I did whenever I was in high school as well, but the internet wasn't there, so the world didn't know that we did it. But so when I was a kid, my last name was Carmen, which meant I was pretty early in the alphabetical list, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so they called the first bit in there, and I was there, and a mutual friend that we all have, or at least Tony, I know you know Patrick Day. I'll call give him a shout out. He was behind me, and I had this shirt that zipped up the front instead of buttoned up for some reason. And so after I took my picture and I was walking, he goes, "Hey, give me your shirt." I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, we're going to be beside each other in the yearbook because there's nobody in between, Carmen and Day." So he wanted to have that same shirt. So then he took the picture, and then the guy after him said, "Hey, Patrick, give me that shirt."
No.
And so
No way.
then you had all these
Love it.
guys in line with their shirts off, just standing in the library, half naked, waiting for the shirt so they can all take it. And there's about 15 of us in line, which is a quarter of the
my
class.
gosh.
When I was in high school, 15 of us in the line of the yearbook that all have that same shirt on.
You've got to post that.
I'll try to find it. I don't own that yearbook. I only have one yearbook, but
Well, look
I'll
on
try to find.
classmates.com.
I'll find somebody that has it. It's great, and it's just a hideous shirt. It was from Bill's store, the one that was there in Prague. I bought a shirt from there for some reason, zipped up, was all silky and gross. So
It was probably really in style.
the
zipper.
Don't
know.
No, probably not.
It was Wopsle
Got it at
style.
Bill's.
But that story kind of I feel like school picture day, kind of the rules were always off. There's always people roaming the halls, and if the teacher says, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I'm going to take my picture," and they're like, "I guess that's right." So it was always kind of a crazy day, which I appreciated.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, except for when you're in that line, it's like you're going to the executioner. It's like you're in the Pink Floyd's The Wall video where you're just like going up the escalator and falling off the end. That's what I felt like.
Taking one more step to documenting how awkward of a person you are
Yes.
for the rest of your life.
And
Have this
the
picture.
ability to smile slowly seeping out of me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a good feeling.
Yeah. When you get up there, you're like, look, you have a limited number of times you get to click that button on that camera because it's gonna get exponentially worse really fast.
Yeah. Well, when we were kids, they only wanted to take one picture or maybe two,
Right.
because it was film and every picture cost money. But now they're just like, okay, I'll just redo it. It's fine, no big deal. But back then it was do or die. It was do or die.
School picture day. It's a good one. I have a I'll try to find some pictures from the high school days and post them up. I got a lot more stories about school picture day, but you know what? We'll save that for the revisit of this topic, which will inevitably be, a couple episodes away. So before we do all that, Shishi, what do you rate school picture day?
I'll rate school picture day. Just one more click, please.
That's right.
Yeah, I know it's not going to be better, but please try another one. Oh man. Okay, Tone, what do you rate school picture day?
I'm gonna rate school pictures 3 out of 5 Sally Jesse Raphael prescription glasses
Yes.
plus -2 out of 5 mullets. So the total ends up being a 1 out of 5.
Okay. Well, I will have to rate school picture day 30 out of 40 awkward time capsules. 'Cause that's what these things end up being, right? Just like a little time capsule of how awkward you were and how
Your
much you
level of
got beat up.
awkwardness.
Yeah.
Yep. how high your pants were at the time.
Yes.
How high your pants legs came up your
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, thank you for that, Wopsle. It was great. Okay, well, you know what time it is. It's time for our 5-star review. Let's go.
Let's go.
5 stars.
5 stars.
That you gotta complain, write a letter. You'll feel better.
Our 5-star review this week is Bill's.
My favorite team.
So, yeah. The funny thing about Bill's sponsoring us is that we actually have to pay them for the sponsorship.
Right. It's so weird. Yeah, it's a weird thing. A lot of people were wondering why we would do this because we're kind of breaking ground in this area.
Yes. I think this is going to be the new trend
Yeah.
where we pay people to sponsor us. And Bill's is a great place to start.
Well, I love William Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
I love William Hurt. I love anybody. Kevin Williams, who is a guy that we know.
Uh-huh.
It goes by Kevin Bill sometimes.
He goes by Kevin
he
Bill.
goes
His
by
last name,
Kevin
yeah.
Bills. There's an S on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
The guy that broke my heart in high school. Yeah.
Oh, William Gates.
Yeah, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've never heard somebody go from a software developer to a serial murderer faster than going from Bill Gates to William Gates.
Oh, God.
William Leonard Gates.
Okay.
Yeah, Bills has been sponsoring that NFL football team for so long, and I'm glad to see them diversify into podcasts. Because
Yeah.
the NFL's been paying them a lot of money to be a sponsor, so now we get to pay them money to be a sponsor for us. This is great.
Right.
It's
That
a
is
win-win.
great.
It's a win-win.
And the thing is, if we forget to pay them, they will remind us over and over again.
Right. I think they send the Quip guy to your house, right?
They do.
Quip, and I'm pretty mad.
Best callback ever. I'm Quip and I'm pretty mad.
Oh, I love Bills. They're so
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Thanks, Bills.
Thanks, Bills.
You'll feel better.
Okay, well, I'm up last this week, and I brought a really important topic to the table for us to review today. I would like for us to talk about piles. I would like to get your first impression of piles, Tone. What do you think about them?
Well, golly. I think that's all I need
That's
to
all
say
you
about
got?
it.
All
Okay.
you got.
All right. Wopsa, what do you think about piles?
Well, the first thing I think is the same thing Tony was thinking, but I do got to say, earlier in the intro to this episode, I almost brought up a pile of snakes and how
Right.
that's the worst version of snakes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
But I didn't bring it up because I didn't want to put that in anybody's mind. But now that we do you guys remember? So our family loved Indiana Jones growing up, which I think is part of why I hate snakes, because Indy hates snakes.
Indy hates snakes.
But remember how often he would break through some sarcophagus or something, and there would just be like an ancient pile of snakes just waiting on him. Like, how long have those snakes been there? What have they been eating? Why are why do they have such a hunger for human blood? I never understood this big giant pile of ancient Egyptian snakes just waiting for humans. What are they doing? So, yeah.
They're not feeding off of each other. They're definitely not,
Yeah.
because they're multiplying.
It's just
guess they're mating a lot.
dusty and stony in there. So I don't know what those guys are eating. But of course they want Indiana Jones because they haven't had real meat
'Cause they're
in 2,000 years.
Exactly.
So that's what I think.
Hey.
Pile of snakes.
Okay. Well, that's not really where I was going with that. But
Oh, you weren't going Indiana Jones?
I wasn't going Gomer or Indy with that. Actually, when I think of piles, my first thought is doo-doo.
Uh-huh.
And now everyone knows where the bathroom humor actually comes from. It's me. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
Yep.
However, I
Always
was
talking about the poopy.
then when I'm like, no, I can't think about that. It's poop. I'm not supposed to be thinking about that. So then I think about all of the piles of paperwork on my desk at work. Piles that I have at home of various things that I can't find a place for. And when does a pile become a problem? That's the kind of stuff I think about. I think I like your stuff better.
your piles, there's a very negative thing going on there with your piles, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not you're not seeing a lot of good piles around your house, which I think that might not even be a thing, right? Are there any good piles in your house?
I guess a good pile you would call a stack, right? Like if you have if you have a pile of paperwork on your desk, but it's in a stack, that means that it's neat and you know what's in there. It's a stack that you're working with, but a pile you're right. There's a negative connotation with that.
Maybe. I got to say, I don't know how you would just run across this, but a pile of money is a pretty good pile.
That's
better. So funny you say that, because I was just about to say, under Microsoft Bing, when you do a search for piles, it comes up, one of the first suggestions is a pile of money.
What?
And that seems better than a stack of money, I think. A pile of money is like the best version of money.
You think so? Well, it depends on how big the pile is, I guess. If you have multiple stacks.
Is 2 $1 bills crumbled up a pile? Because if so, I'm about to Scrooge McDuck myself into these $1 bills.
I think you have to have 3 of an item for it to be called a pile. That's what I'm going with.
I was going to say
3 of
that
an
too,
item.
yeah.
$3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
3
crumpled
and
up dollar bills.
they do have to be crumpled.
Look at that pile of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you just have 3 flat dollars lying on top of each other, that's not a pile. That's just dollars. Mm-hmm. But if they're crumpled up, yes. So I thought I would, since you said Bing gave you piles of money when you searched on piles, I thought I'd go and see what Google said. And their first hit on piles is also a type of piles that I deal with on a daily basis, and it's hemorrhoids. Did you know hemorrhoids are called piles?
I did not. I did not know that.
I didn't, and hopefully, after I hit myself in the face with this hammer, I won't remember it after this conversation.
Right.
Just go to get your picture taken, and you'll forget all about it.
Right. I'm going to call Olin Mills in here to take my picture to help erase my memory.
And there is not a single reference to money on this search page.
Wow. Okay. Now I have also one of the options is piles treatment bleeding.
So okay.
Oh.
So hey, y'all deal with that. Do with that what you will.
Here is.
I think
I think this might be an English word. Like that might be the English word for hemorrhoids.
I also think you guys' search
spelling.
engines are obviously using what they know about you. Like yours go straight to hemorrhoids, and Tony, yours is like piles of money because it's obviously your life.
Yeah, I have searched on hemorrhoids before, but I've never called it piles. I'm going to do an incognito so it doesn't know me. Oh, now let's see.
Ooh.
Okay,
we need to make a segment out of this going incognito.
Right? Nope, still hemorrhoids. All right, Google, you know too much about me. But I guess at work, okay, at my house, it's all my stuff and that's fine. At work, when I took over this desk, there was so much stuff from like, I don't know, there's 20 years worth of things on this desk. And so it was other people's piles and I'm slowly working down these piles. So also I have different piles at work and home. Like the hemorrhoids are different. That was my point, but that wasn't I said it badly. Anyway. Okay. Let's rate piles. Can we rate piles, please?
I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Tony, what do you rate piles?
All right. I'm going to rate piles 4 out of 5 Gomers. No one's ever, and I'll also point out, no human has ever said those exact words in that exact order. 4 out of 5 Gomers.
Gomer.
Doesn't that mean something in Urban Dictionary? What is a Gomer?
Uh-oh, did we just rate it something that we're going to regret?
Oh, apparently it's a biblical name. Anyway, Wopsle, what do you rate piles?
So real quick, I did Urban Dictionary Gomer, and this is what it says. It's medical slang for a patient who has lost often through oh wait, sorry. Now that I read it out loud, it did make sense. I read that thing 4 times and it was not an actual sentence, and I thought it was so funny. But it is a sentence and it's not as funny as I thought it was.
Oh, what is it?
Well, it says a patient who has lost, often through age, what goes into being a human being.
Whoa, that's pretty
Wow.
hard.
Gosh.
See, mine, I'm looking at it in Being, and it says a troublesome patient.
That's what
especially
Wiktionary says.
An elderly or homeless one.
Yeah. That does not need medical care. So, like, they're just going to get a warm bed or something.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And the quotes on Urban Dictionary are always the worst. And this one is,
Yes.
I wish that Gomer in room 3820 would stop moaning.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
What a gomer. I might have to start adopting this one, guys. I might have to start putting this into my rotation.
Is this what's happening to me? I'm becoming a gomer.
You're
As we
slowly
speak.
becoming a gomer.
That sounds really male, though. So maybe there's a female equivalent because a gomer
gomet?
sounds a gomet. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I will rate Piles 13 out of 30 pile rats. Pile rats.
Pile of rats.
Piles of rats.
Pile.
For some reason, it's only
13 out of
varmint.
30 piles of rats.
The only kind of pile I can think of is varmint. I don't know why that's true.
Are you saying varmints?
Varmint?
Vermin.
Piles of rats.
Right, but you're saying
Like
the word
multiple
vermin,
rats.
right?
Varmin, you know.
Vermin.
No, that's varmint's not. I don't think
There we
varmint's
have-
anything.
We have vermin and we have varmints.
Right? And those things make up the piles of rats. Thank
You put the two together.
It takes up a lot to make the pile. So you put them, when they all get together, then you got a pile of rats on your hands. Now what are you going to do? Good luck with that, is what I'm saying.
Oh, that is awesome. That's the best. Varmin.
Varmin. Yeah.
Probably.
Well, it's when the toilet paper brand Charmin started working with more mice and things like that.
Rat-based
So
technology, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a varmint and it's Charmin.
Oh my gosh. I must rate piles. I'm not going with the hemorrhoid version. I'm going with the cash version.
Oh.
I'm going with 3 crumpled up $1 bills out of 5.
Oh, that's so good.
That's awesome.
Oh, what a great callback.
Okay, well that's going to do it for us this week.
Yeah, hey, we would love to have your suggestions, just like Abraham, a.k.a. Mark, was on this episode. Send us some things to review, some things to versus each other, or just, some pictures of your dog. Either way, we would love to hear from you at reviews@kick.cool.
And we also want to thank the band Bugs for letting us use the song Reviews as our theme song. Please go like the Facebook page, like them on all the socials and everything, and buy their new album, Cooties, online. You could buy it. It's pretty much anywhere online.
Buy our new album and follow us on our socials at Kick the Cool on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yay.
See you there.
Okay, well, see you next week. I'm She.
I'm Tone.
And I'm Walt.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.